Coffee Coaches Show. We are broadcasting live from Carson Sports Grill in downtown Maryville. I'm John Coffey, alongside with Matt Trenton. Helping out behind the scenes, we have our sideline reporter Jenny James and also Ryan Elliott helping out here this evening as well. And Matt, we've got a busy show coming up tonight. We've got tennis, we've got golf, we've got football. We've got a lot of things to go over here and a lot of guests on the program this evening.
Yeah, and that's what makes it fun too, be able to talk to these coaches and players. And first couple weeks, everybody kind of feeling things out, especially from a fan standpoint, the media standpoint of how everybody's going to be. But now we're kind of getting to the thick of things, so excited to have everybody come out and talk about the season.
And we've got a busy weekend coming up. It's a family weekend on the Northwest Missouri State campus, so a lot of people will be coming to town for a lot of different activities, including football on Saturday, which we'll be talking about a little bit as well. A couple of the programs on the road this weekend, volleyball and soccer. Volleyball tomorrow has a big match with Central Missouri, and soccer over to face Leonard Wood. So a couple of tough activities coming up for both of those sports.
Yeah, and it's tough to go away whenever you have family weekend coming up here in Maryville, but this is a good opportunity for both clubs to go on the road and pick up some W's, especially with the soccer team bouncing back just the other day, picking up a big victory to even out their record. So a chance for them to keep on pushing forward, get a win over there in St. Charles, come back here and celebrate through family weekend, and same for the volleyball team. We saw them start off really tough non-conference schedule. Now they're diving into things, having to go into Warrensburg, and always a tough place to play. But this be a good chance to start the conference season off on the right foot to get a W there, then come back home.
Football always means a lot for family weekend. You've got a great crowd that's always on hand for that matchup. And also, as we'll hear from Rich a little bit later, Rich Wright, he talked this week about what family weekend means to him and the football program, and it's a special day for everyone involved with football.
Yeah, it really is. And, most campuses you go to, homecoming is kind of the big thing throughout the fall. And homecoming, obviously, is enormous here at Northwest Missouri State University. But family weekend is kind of rivaling that now, just with all the events going on, everyone coming to town, the students with their parents, the alumni bringing in their families as well. But then you mentioned the football team, too. Family weekend was big when I was in school, which was quite a while ago, too. But it's taken on a new meaning, too, with after the passing of Scott Bostwick and just what he meant to everybody in this community, and to see everybody come out in their red hats and their red shirts and the red paws and the black jerseys for the football team. It means an awful lot. And a lot of these kids didn't know Scott at all, weren't recruited by him, of course, and just in the program because they want to be a part of a winner. But it really feels like what Coach Wright has brought to this program is just kind of taking a lot of the philosophies, a lot of the family atmosphere, if you will, of what Scott had with his defense and keeping that tradition going. And if you watch him on the sideline, there's a little bit of Scott in Rich still, and so it's very cool to see, and it's a lot of fun to talk to him about it too, and just to find out how much he loved that man.
And Northwest will face Missouri Southern Saturday afternoon. That'll be a 1:30 kickoff. We'll have the broadcast on KXCV beginning at 12:30 with Bearcat Game Day. And Northwest defense has done a great job up to this point this season. Offense still looking to get on track. And one thing that Rich talked about earlier this week was he just felt like they were maybe one play or two plays away from really getting things opened up and getting things rolling offensively.
Yeah, and I think to an extent that's to be expected. He had also kind of talked a little bit about, too, with the way that he coaches the defense, and he mentioned it, kind of the simplicity. I don't know how simple it actually is, but the defense kind of takes to it a little bit quicker, and the offense takes a while to actually get things going. And so when you have a national championship caliber defense the way Northwest Missouri State does, it's a little bit easier to go in there and say, you know what, things may not come easy this first few weeks, but if we can find a way to get into a groove, find a way to get back home after, a couple tough road games, if they can beat up on Missouri Southern, get some of that confidence going, pretty confident that the Bearcats will be able to take off and really put things together and look like what we've seen from the 2015 squad, the 2016 squads.
Stay tuned. We've got a lot coming up on the KXCV Bearcat Coaches Show right after this timeout from Carson Sports Grill in downtown Maryville. Welcome back to the KXCV KRNW Bearcat Coaches Show. Again, we're broadcasting live from Carson Sports Grill in downtown Maryville, as we do on Thursday evenings. And talking tennis right now, Alvaro Riveros is with us, the assistant coach on the Northwest men's and women's tennis teams. And Alvaro, it's good to have you with us on the program here tonight.
Thank you. It's good to be back here now as a coach. It's always a great show, and we really like to listen to it. And you guys do a great job at it.
Well, thank you. I know we've had you on as a player back in the day, but the last year or so, now going into year 2, helping out with the tennis program as a coach, as a graduate assistant. And talk a little bit about that transition and making the transition from being teammates with a lot of the players to the next year being their coach.
It's a really weird transition, honestly, because you come from being part of the team completely, playing with them, practicing with them, to a transition where you have like a little bit more of authority on what to tell. You have to be a little more responsible than you were as a player. So that's the biggest thing. Like, you pass from being a friend to being a coach. But I think the guys respected me a lot, and I was a captain of the team before, and that helped me a lot to the transition. And it's been great. The guys were great last year, and this year just have a lot of new people, and they have behaved really well, and it's been really nice.
Does it help you a little bit as well, knowing some of the things that you would like to see out of the coaching staff to maybe step into that role and help them out from that end of things a bit?
Oh, yes, for sure. Like, being a part of the team also gives me an insight of how they play and how they like to be coached. When we're in the court, it's completely different. We're in practice, so that gives me a little insight that, okay, this player likes to be coached hard, tough, and the other one just likes to be more motivational, you know. So that helped a lot, the transition.
And I know playing for Coach Rosewell, now coaching with Mark, and one of the things, it seems like Mark gives you a wide range of things and responsibilities to do, so I would imagine that is nice too, knowing that you've got a coach that trusts what you want to do out there.
Yes, of course. He empowers you a lot to do. He trusts me, and he's been trusting the past assistant coach a lot to do a lot of things that help you feel even more motivated, and you want to see the team succeed more because you're more into the team, you're doing a lot for the team, so you want a team to succeed really bad because it will look good on you, look good in the team, and good in the school.
Now, you guys have had a busy season up to this particular point since school has started, on the road every weekend. You're going to different tournaments, and we've talked with Mark in the past about how the fall is a lot different from the spring. It's more individual-based activities during the fall, and last weekend you had a chance to host a tournament on the renovated courts at Frank Ruby Courts, and it brought in Southwest Baptist in Washburn. And first of all, let's again talk about the courts and how fantastic they are for not only the team but for the community. And it just seems like there's nice courts as you guys have played on anywhere.
Those courts are so nice. They have helped us so much with everything, practice and scheduling. Now it's going to help in the spring with the matches. It's such a big help to have those 6 courts up there, because before, if we wanted to have maybe just both teams practicing at the same time, we had to split up and go to high rise, which is a hazard because you have to walk all the way there and you cannot coach both times at the same time. So it's such a nice, the course, they took their time, but they did it really well. The course, the surface is nice. All the teams that came to the tournament were telling us how nice the courts were, and they're still adding a couple of things. So we're looking forward to see what they're gonna add, and it's really good for everybody. You say the high school's playing a couple matches there, and they love it too. You have 6 courses, you can watch 6 matches at a time. It's perfect.
And when you've decided to host an event on these courts, you didn't bring in any slouches coming in. You brought in 2 of the top teams in the MIAA with Washburn and Southwest Baptist to go up against last weekend.
Of course. We said we wanted to do that. We were going to call it the Roswell Invitational, but we had to call it Norwich Invitational. And we said we wanted to bring a couple D1 teams, but at the end, we haven't hosted a tournament in a while. And it was one of my first times hosting a tournament in Roswell's in a while, so we decided to just keep it in a few teams, and what best than have like a conference preview. We want our players, especially since we have so many new players, to play in the best competence possible, and what best the 3 biggest rivals for our conference.
Now, I know you don't keep team totals and everything, but when you look at the individual brackets, it looked like Northwest really performed well in this tournament last weekend.
Mm-hmm. Again, as I say, we cannot compare this team to the teams that we had in the past because we haven't played as a team yet. So we're looking at it individually, and we had especially in the dominated kind of like the back draw, and we had a lot of people going in. We have more of quantity than instead of one champion and stuff. We did really good though. I think in the girls we did better than expected, and in the guys we did just how we expected it to do. So it was a good tournament. We're looking forward for the next two.
I would imagine that you have to be encouraged, especially in the women's bracket, seeing Tania Teruel do as well as she did and some of the other girls, because it looks like after a couple of years where some injuries and things hurt the women's side of things, it looks like some good things are ahead there.
Yes, she's been playing amazing. You're going to be able to talk to her later today, but she's done a great fall. These last two tournaments, she's played really, really well. I think it was very encouraging to see that SBU in the past maybe 4 or 5 years, they're dominating the women's, and with maybe 1, 2 players that we cannot be able to even compete against. And the fact that Tania got to the final, beating SBU's 1 or 2, and getting to the final and losing really, really close to a Washburn girl who used to play in a KU in D1 school. So it was really exciting, and I think she has a great future ahead of her. Hopefully she's going to do good in regional tournament.
Now we've got Bjorn here as well tonight. Tell us a little bit about Bjorn Kurtz coming in from Germany and what he brings to the program.
Well, Bjorn actually is a transfer from Armstrong State, which is, we all know in tennis, is one of the biggest school. In Armstrong, I don't know how many national championships in a row they won, so that's one of the reasons we brought him, because he's a winner. So I think he's not a freshman, but he's coming in with a little bit of experience, 1 year playing in Armstrong. And he comes from Germany. He's a really talented player. I think he's going to help us a lot. He got a really tough draw in the first round, played against Washburn. And then after that, he lost one of the matches fairly easy in the back draw. So we're looking forward to whatever he can do.
All right, well, Alvaro, thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And we continue to talk tennis here on our program this evening, as we'll talk to a couple members of the tennis teams that did well this past weekend. Tania Teruel with us, along with Bjorn Kurtz. And guys, thanks a lot for being with us here on the program tonight.
Thanks for having us here.
And Tania, you had a nice draw going through and making it to the championship match there. Just talk a little bit about how the weekend went for you.
Yeah, I really didn't start very good the tournament. I was very nervous to play the first tournament at home, but I won the first match, and then I started to play next to my teammates, and I get confident. So I beat the number 1 of SBU in a tough match. And then in the final, I was playing against the number 1 of Washburn. It was a really close match. I could make it, but at the end, she beat me. But I'm proud of that tournament.
All right, Bjorn, coming through into the back draw there and doing very well in the very end. Just kind of talk about how the weekend went for you.
Yeah, it started off actually pretty good. I won the first set against a good player, but then he proved his game. So, yeah, I couldn't beat him in the end. So I went to the back draw, and the only goal was to win this. And yeah, I made it. I'm proud of winning the back draw, even though it's just a back draw. And yeah, we can work on that, like maybe next time the main draw.
Yeah, well, your watching impressions of being on the Northwest campus now and having a chance to compete this fall.
I like the campus a lot. It's pretty, how you say, green. It fits the colors of the school. I like the university. I like the people here. It's completely different to the school where I've been before. The people act different, the people treat you different, and yeah.
Well, for both of you, is the international flair that both teams have, that when you come in, you've got a lot of players that I think you have a little bit something in common with when you come to Northwest.
I don't know, it was not that hard being international. I really feel like at home. I mean, I came with a lot of Spanish people, so that helped me too, but I don't feel like different here.
And as far as having some international flavor on the men's side as well, does that help a little bit?
It's definitely helpful because you know that all of the players in the team are in actually pretty much the same situation. They all like miss their homes and their family, so you can talk to them a lot, and yeah, it helps to know that you're in the same situation like other people. And yeah, we have a great team bonding, and yeah, I think it's helpful, yeah.
Now, Bjorn, you guys are back in action this weekend, going up to Des Moines. I think leaving maybe tomorrow to get up to an invitation hosted by Drake. Let's kind of look at what you're would like to accomplish this weekend, going up to get some good competition up at Drake.
Definitely, yeah. We try to give our best. Those are definitely good universities. They're all D1 universities, which all practice hard, play hard. So it's going to be good competition. But we're not going to back down just because we're D2 university. We're a good D2 university, so I definitely think we can compete with them. We try to get as many good matches as possible in.
And Tania, on the women's side, you guys, if I understand right, have the weekend off, and then you get ready for the big one coming up after that down in Springfield the next weekend, the ITAs down there. And what are some of the things you guys want to go through between now and that weekend to get ready for that tournament?
Oh, it's very nice has this free weekend, so we can like fix the little points that we were weak about. So this weekend we are gonna like practice a lot of doubles. The thing is like the weak part of the latest team, but we are very excited for this tournament. A lot of new people in the tennis team. They really want to fight a lot for this tournament. I would bet it's gonna be a good ITA.
All right, well, guys, again, thanks a lot for bringing us on the show tonight.
Thank
you for having us.
We'll take a break. Be back with more here from Carson Sports Grill on KXCV KRNW. We're talking football here in the Bearcat Coaches Show from Carson Sports Grill. Matt Curtin now sitting down with senior quarterback Zach Martin. Zach, we appreciate you coming on the show. And big week, family weekend here at Northwest Missouri State University, going against Missouri Southern. What's this mean to the football team that side? What's Coach Wright kind of been preaching this week going into the against Missouri Southern?
He's been talking about a lot of things, but mostly Coach Boswick. When we're running out of the tunnel on Saturday, he just talks about seeing all the red out there. He brought that to the program, so he said it's amazing how much one person can affect the whole community. So said just cherish it and have fun and play hard.
There are a lot of Scott Boswick stories out there. Has he said in one particular that's stuck in your mind that's kind of makes you feel like you know the guy already?
Today he told us one, just a quote that he always lives by is you're playing at the big time place here. So I think that's a great quote by him, and that it can resonate with us as well because this is a big place to play.
What's it been like for you now with 3 starts under your belt, one here at Bearcat Stadium, between the atmosphere, the guys who are around you, the coaching staff? What's it like to be a starting quarterback at Northwest?
It's unbelievable. Everything I dreamed it would be. Having a lot of fun. Looking forward to the opportunity on Saturday to play in front of a great crowd again, and get back home and hear the crowd, cheer when we get a first down and third down conversion, third down stop. So it'll be awesome. I
want to rewind a little bit, going back to week 1 against Emporia State, a 34-0 win there. First game as a starting quarterback for the Bearcats, 18 of 26, 314 yards and a touchdown. Did you have a few nerves going to that one? Any anxiety before that one got going?
Not too much. I was, just more thinking about, our first 20 plays, get out there, move the ball, take what the defense gives us. I've started a few games when I was back at Iowa Western. It's obviously a lot different here, but football's football where you play it at, and it was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot different atmosphere. Playing with 10,000 people there instead of about 500 at Western. So, yeah.
Once we got into the second half and it felt like things kind of got flowing a little bit better, especially offensively, going back to that football game still, you had a long pass to Clayton Wilson just off his fingertips, another one just off Sean Bain's fingertips. Then Sean was able to run under one finally, but just kind of seeing that, a small picture for some of us that don't get to see practice every day, you kind of see how much potential this offense has going into every week. When you see the playmakers around you, what kind of goes through your mind of just how special these guys are?
Just how can you get it to all of them at once, right? But they all do a great job. They all work really hard. We go through it each week, seeing how we're going to get them the ball. And, teams are doing a great job of trying to take them out of the game. So it's tough to take them all out, and this Saturday we'll have some good stuff for them again.
Last week against Nebraska Kearney, 13-0 win. You're 30 of 42 passing, over 200 yards, touchdown, interception there. Still a pretty good game, even though the team only puts up 13 points. So I feel like, man, you guys are just 1 or 2 plays away from breaking that one open.
Yeah, we are about 1 or 2 plays. Yeah, there's about 6 plays I'm thinking of right now. That's been what we've been preaching all week, just trying to get everyone, all 11 people on the field, doing their 1/11th and doing the best they can. And when that happens, we're gonna be pretty good. Moving forward into this week, Missouri Southern, as I mentioned,
family weekend. Anything in particular you try to tweak from week 3 into week 4 that can really propel this team?
We've taken a good focus on trying to run the ball. We know around here it's important to be able to run the ball because later in the year it's going to get cold. Never know if there's snow, right? So we've been looking at that, seeing different ways to be able to do that. Working on, I think this week we might get some shots deep, so working on those as well, and then just taking care of the football as well. Been focusing on that, and we had a few bad penalties last week on offense. We thought we were behind the chains on first down, so in practice we've been thinking about that as well. So those are about 4 things that we've been keying in on, and hopefully this weekend we can do those.
Taking it back to your days at Iowa Western, pretty good career there, and going to 2015, the team overall was 10-2. You averaged about 250 yards passing per game, all-region team. What was that experience like? Tell me about kind of that process of going from Iowa Western to Northwest.
Well, I was about 30 minutes from home. Iowa Western's like right across the border, so I could see my parents about every weekend. I'd go home and eat dinner with them on Sunday nights. But just the atmosphere is a lot different. It's like a university here. There, it's pretty much all the athletes are living on campus and stuff. So there's not a general population and stuff like that. Just a lot bigger school, obviously a smaller town, but it's definitely the right fit. I'm glad that I came here, and it's worked out really well so far.
And tell me about your high school background a little bit, playing in Nebraska and coming up that way.
Played for my dad in high school.
So you had the X's and O's kind of ingrained in you already.
Yep, I watched a lot of great football players at my high school. We were not very good my junior year, and I believe we were 3-6 my junior year, and then my senior year we went to state championship and lost in the state championship. Played a really good team, but just that transition from being out of the playoffs to that first team to ever go to the state, and then they've been in the state semifinals ever since. They haven't been.
You're the trendsetter there.
They have. They've made it to the state semifinals. They won 2 when I left, and then they've been in the semifinals ever since. So I like to think that I left it with a good foot, and they're carrying it going. So
should be a lot of fun this weekend. Family weekend taking on Missouri Southern. So Zach, appreciate you coming on the show, and hopefully get another W.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So as we wrap things up for another Thursday evening with Matt Tritt, and I'm John Coffey. And Matt, it's been a good show tonight, and we've got a big weekend coming up. Missouri Southern coming in Saturday. Should be a fun afternoon.
Should be a great afternoon. And first of all, it is always fun to talk with the coaches, talk with the players, and get some of those fun stories you don't always necessarily hear out in public. But you're right, it's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be a little bit warm, but it's still going to be a beautiful family weekend. I think Coach Churchman said that game was tickets sold out almost by Monday already, so a big crowd expected, and should be a lot of fun. I know you personally, too. You like the fact that it's warm, but you're a big fan of the fall season, too, and it's going to be day 2 of fall. It's going to be a great day.
Oh, I tell you, it's what fall football is all about Saturday afternoon, and we'll have that right here on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe, with our pregame at 12:30, Bearcat Game Day, 1:30 kickoff from Bearcat Stadium, so that'll be a fun one coming up on Saturday. Again, my thanks to everyone involved with our program, Coach Wright, along with quarterback Zach Martin, Alvaro Riveros, assistant coach for the men's tennis team, and also a couple tennis players, Bjorn, Kurtz, and Tania, Teruel, Andy Peterson, head golf coach, and Matty Props from the golf team for being with us on the program this evening. We'll be right back here next Thursday for another edition of the KXCV KRNW Bearcat Coaches Show. For Matt Trenton, also for Jenny James and Ryan Ailey helping out from behind the scenes, I'm John Coffey, and so long from Carson's.